Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free. 99, yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We have a stay. We have a stay. Turn it up, we in the South with style and grace. MOCA got 'em talking, can't nobody take a place. Nah, from the bayou to the block, we drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe, hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend, amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. It's MOCA and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From MOCA to NOLA, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to MOCA, na na bells. Welcome to MOCA, na na bells. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we gon' live, we outside. From the panel to the people, it's pure real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead her own walk. No cameras, my mic check with no lights on blast. But every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to MOCA, stick around for a while. Welcome to MOCA, no love bells. Where the bells ring truth and the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free 99, still with it. Still with it. We outside. We outside.
Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Saturday, guys. And welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to see each and every one of you. It really, really is. It's been a little minute since we've been here. Well, y'all know we popped out today, did something quick. But nonetheless, we're back doing what we do the way that we do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that are here, please hit that like button for your girl. If you can share out the live, that would be great as well. And don't forget to tap those emojis to the right. Tonight is going to be one of those stories that Jesus is all over the place. But nonetheless, slide on in here, y'all, because I feel that we each have something to add to what's going on here. Grab your drink, grab your snack, and most importantly, everybody better come in here with some common sense, because tonight we gonna need it for this one. Every bit of it that we have. Ciao, ciao, ciao. This is, so we don't want nobody to twist nothing that we say in here tonight. May Kenneka rest in peace. We know that this child deserves safety. She deserves honesty and protection. Not chaos, not confusion. And definitely not being turned into a circus act. Tonight is not about disrespect. It's not about digging up pain. Tonight is going to be about unraveling the things that never set right in our spirits. You remember the hotel, the footage, and maybe you remember that mama's behavior before, during, and especially after. You came here for a bedtime story, I ain't got none. You came here and want me to tiptoe around her and her behavior, like everything she did made sense. This ain't where you want to be. But if you came here because you remember the contradictions, the Facebook lives, the sympathy hustle, now I ain't that moment when she said, I ain't got that much money, you know, them speeches there, the gaslight, that whole woe is me performance that got more dramatic by the week. And maybe you in the right spot. I'm not diagnosing her. I'm not calling her crazy. I'm not playing judge nor a jury. What I'm going to do is, though, I'm going to break down that damn behavior. Because grief, to me, looks one way. But ego, attention, manipulation, and opportunity, that looks like something else entirely different. So tonight, we're going to walk through all of it. The public image, the whining, the contradictions, the lies, the pressure she put on social media, the silence around that hotel, the shifting stories depending on who was watching, all of it. And I'm going to ask the questions, the hard ones, the ones that some people didn't want to ask because they were fearful of being called disrespectful or insensitive. Child, please. Over here, we honor the dead and still hold the living accountable. Both truths can sit at the same damn table. So let's go, guys. You hear me loud and clear, let me know. And once we're settled in, we're going straight into this woman and who she is and who she really showed us she was. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Tayesha, I see you, my love. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, Lady D. I see you, Miss B. Sherry, hey, girl, hey. Hey, Venetia, welcome, my love. Top Flight Sis, I see you. Kimberly Earls, look at my girl, Miss Detroit. I see you, boo. I see you. Erica Red, welcome, baby. Welcome, hope all is well. Lady Libra, hey, my love. Tracy, hey, baby, what's going on? My girl Essie is up in here. Lady D, welcome, boo. Lady Libra said Teresa sold her soul to the devil. Now she online acting a damn fool, and she is. Tanya, my girl, hey, boo. Hey, Tony, what's going on, sister? My beautiful sister D. Welcome, sis. What my girl says she followed this story like white on rice. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, boo. Happy holidays to you and yours as well. My girl Samantha is up in here. Hey, boo. Ms. Detroit said, was wondering where my favorite girl's been, girl. Spending just a little time with the family, boo. Hey, Cynthia Horman, welcome, baby. Love Selfishly, welcome back, my love. Welcome. Samantha says this whole case is sad, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. Cool girl sister, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, Rhapsody, welcome, boo. Look at Marty. Hey, boo. Happy Saturday to you. Yes, Samantha, greed. Sold our own blood. And we're going to put our opinions out there tonight. Ms. Detroit said, for real, she's being ruled by the spirit of the daughter. Allegedly, something is tearing her ass up. Hey, says Sean, welcome, boo. My girl said it's time to get her. It's time. Look at my girl, Rochelle. Hey, Niecy Pooh. Hope all is well. And hope that little girl is tumbling and doing jumping jacks and all of that, and she's doing well too. My girl Ann, happy holidays. I miss you too. Love selfishly. You understand who is this woman? As Detroit said, right. When them people put their lives on the line, she traded them and took money. Baby, we about to get into it. We gonna get into it. Hey, Pie, welcome, my love. Mocha, Tanya said Mocha Rosemont is racist as hell. Nothing that happened over there surprised me. So I hear. So I hear. Samantha, I heard that too, baby. An Oregon Harvesting Center. I heard that about that hotel. Hey, Yolanda, happy holidays, my love. Look at my girl Red is up in here. Hey, boo. Let's get into this, y'all. Hey, Natasha, welcome, boo. Hey, Chucky, welcome, my love. Look ahead. Y'all know me. I'm not the one, nor the two, because at the end of the day, I do believe that Kenneka still haven't received the justice she deserves. I still don't believe it. I'm not scared to say the things everybody else thought while they sat in silence, whispering, acting like they don't or haven't noticed the inconsistencies with Teresa. That girl deserved a mama who led this shit with a fight. Hey, Copper, welcome, boo. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. This isn't about tearing nobody down. It's about honoring Kenneka's humanity. Honoring the discomfort that's in my spirit and never let me settle with how this story was handled. When something don't sit right, I don't sit right. And we're going to move the way we move in here when we address Teresa. That's what we're going to do. Because Teresa's doing too much. Doing too much. For everyone that's entering the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. We ain't going to talk about the tears, the t-shirts, not the memorials and the look at me moments. We're going to talk about the behavior, the pattern, the contradictions, the rants, the shifts in tone. Because the truth ain't in the performance. It's in the patterns. And that is exactly where we're going next. The patterns of this woman. We're not going to talk about who the internet tried to dress her up to be. Not who her defenders screamed she was, and definitely not who the news packaged her to look like for TV and for sympathy. We're going to talk about her character, her behavior, how she moved before her daughter passed away, how she moved when this child was missing and then found, and how she kept moving long after the cameras packed up and left. Because when somebody is truly grieving, as far as I know, there's always consistency in pain. They might be angry. They may be quiet, numb. But what they're not doing, they're not going to switch from being a crying mother 1 minute to cussing out strangers on Facebook Live the next like it's a rotation. They don't go from my baby, to then saying shit like, stop worrying about me, I'm grown, in the same damn week. That's not grief, Teresa. That's a performance, bitch, mixed with ego. Let's be real. Talking about her for me is uncomfortable, but watching that behavior back then, that was uncomfortable too. Everybody felt a knot in their chest, and we just swallowed it. This woman craved attention during a time when her priorities should have been truth, justice, and clarity, not views, not who was lying on Facebook, not who she could have clapped back at on live. Every time the spotlight started to dim on Teresa, here the fuck she come. Back online, back talking, back performing, like she was terrified of being forgotten. We saw it. We peeped it. We just didn't say it out loud because nobody wanted to be the one to disrespect what we thought was a grieving mother. But it's been years now, Teresa, 8 damn years. And baby, people tired. Now your pattern has to be called for what it is. Your behavior scream insecurity, it scream deflection, it's screaming, I want attention more than I want accountability. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but her pattern before that hotel situation matches her pattern after. Same chaos, same dramatics, the same emotional instability, the same obsession with what the internet was saying instead of staying locked in on what really happened to her child. This wasn't some sudden grief reaction. This was who she really was. This is who she really was. Trauma didn't create this woman's character. All that trauma did was expose who the hell she was. And when everybody went left, instead of centering her daughter, instead of making Kenneka be the center of it all, she inserted her damn self. Teresa wanted the spotlight. Teresa wanted sympathy more than she wanted solutions. She wanted comfort more than she wanted clarity, and she wanted the internet to rock her to sleep. Nah, bitch, you're too big for that. She wanted the internet more than she wanted the truth to shake that hotel to its core. And that right there, that was the first red flag that a lot of people ignore. When your child supposedly dies under suspicious circumstances, your behavior tells the world a lot about what your priorities really are. And this woman showed us loud and clear over and over and over again that her priority was never justice. It was attention. Say what you want, but go back and look. Every time Teresa opened her mouth, the story shifted. Her anger changed. Who she was mad at shifted. Who she blamed shifted. The only thing that never shifted was a need for attention. Tonight, we're not saying she plotted everything or anything for that matter. We're not saying she knew every single detail. But what I am saying is this. I've watched a pattern play out that did not look like a mama desperate for answers. It looked like a woman desperate not to lose the center of attention. This ain't about disrespect. It's about discernment. And since we're already here, let's move a step further. Saying all of this because Teresa done turned Kenneka's death into a stage play. And she should want better for her child. She should want better. And we're going to continue to call out the chaos, the inconsistencies, the attention seeking, the emotional instability, and her refusal. Yes, I said refusal. Her refusal to focus on clarity, facts, and justice. Because you can't scream justice for my baby when every 5 minutes you got your black ass online, fighting strangers, starting rants, changing your story, and treating Facebook Live like it's a damn confessional booth. You can't fight for justice when you're too busy fighting the internet. And if nobody else ever had the courage to say it, Teresa, I'm saying it. Kenneka deserved more, and you weren't it. Her case deserved a mother, Teresa, and you weren't it. You weren't consistent, you weren't steady, you weren't focused. And that's it, and that's all, ma'am. The rants, your contradictions, your Facebook tantrums, and what they really reveal, Teresa. Girl, the internet might pretend to forget, but screenshots don't forget shit, Teresa. This woman would get online talking like she was the one harmed. Not her daughter who lost her life, but her. People out here praying, demanding justice for your daughter, but you put yourself as the victim every single time. Teresa came out here and hollered, "Stop lying on me. I didn't get all that money." You get online barking like a damn dog. Stop lying on me. You're defensive. You mad. But Teresa, a grieving mother don't care about rumors of checks. We don't care who think you rich, broke, sideways, or slanted, bitch. A grieving mother only fight should be with the system, not the people. The only time a mama cares about what folks think she received is when that money sits higher on her spirit than a mission. Imagine your child is gone. The first thing you mad about is whether the public think you got a settlement. Teresa, make that shit make sense. Make it make sense. I'm coming to y'all comments. Keep them coming. You had these contradictions all in the same week, Teresa. You remember how she would drop a soft emotional post? "Oh, my baby, my heart. I'll never be the same." And then here, Teresa, you come back the same week. The very next day, you're online cussing people down. Cussing them down to the socks. Teresa, that ain't grief. That's emotional instability. That's attention addiction mixed with confusion. You can't be holy on Monday and hell-sent on Tuesday and call it grief. You come online, you make a post, you delete a post, acting like you didn't say it. All of a sudden, you became the delete queen. Post a rant, deleted. Post a cry, deleted. Post a poem, deleted. Go live, deleted. Drag the internet, deleted. Bitch, that ain't grief behavior. That's manipulation. Teresa, you're moving like a crackhead. Somebody who need attention in a moment, but refuse accountability after reaction wears off. Because you meant what you said, so why delete it? You stood on it. Why repaint the whole damn canvas every week? Why? She had more smoke for the internet than she ever had for that hotel. Let me say something. Teresa had 109 posts, rants, live arguments, poems, back and forth for us, and maybe 2 for the hotel. You dragged the people that's making comments. You never dragged them quarters in that damn hotel, Teresa. You cussed out strangers, but you never cussed out the security at that hotel. You question YouTubers and their motives, but you never question the camera or the timeline inconsistencies of that hotel, Teresa. You fought Facebook, but you didn't fight the establishment whose freezer your child was found in. When you have more rage for the internet than a damn building your daughter never walked out of, your priorities, bitch, ain't priorities at all. What Teresa needed was validation. She didn't need justice. Everything she did, the crying, the deleting, the reposting, the contradiction was loud, emotional, chaotic, but it wasn't directed at the people who mattered. That's why folks stopped trusting her. Not because they disliked her, but because everything became about her. The timeline was loud, the behavior was louder, and the patterns. Baby, them patterns scream louder than every Facebook Live she ever did. I'm going to grab some of these comments so I don't get too far behind. Because once we get started, y'all already know we do get started. And my love, thank you so very much, boo. Much appreciated. Thank you, my love. Ms. Detroit says, they made her take money, so she say. We're gonna talk about what she claimed. We're gonna talk about what she claimed, Ms. Detroit. She said, they made her take money, so she say. But they told her what happened to her before they gave her ass the money. Ms. Detroit, as a mother, or just as a decent human being, there should never be no amount of money that's going to make me sell my soul. Because now it's looking like Teresa knows what's going on. It looks like Teresa bargained with the devil to shut the hell up. And that's my opinion. It appears that Teresa bargained with the devil. And that was to keep Teresa quiet. Teresa knows way more than what she's saying. I believe that with all my heart. And the day is going to come when Teresa going to have to dance with the same devil that she sat with. Chucky says, this case gave me nightmares 8 years ago. Chucky, I could believe that, baby. And it's still nightmarish. The more stuff comes out, Chucky, the more stuff comes out, the more hell-bent it appears. And we're at a stage right now where Teresa has to be exposed for who Teresa is. Samantha says she signed an NDA and now I'm trying to open the case up again. Samantha, that's what rocked me to sleep. Teresa set her poor ass there. Thought $3 million was a lot of money. So she really didn't care about her daughter. You took your raggedy ass and you signed the NDA to never speak your daughter's name again. We have to make this make sense. I could never. And now that the money is gone, now that the money is gone, you're upset and you're mad. You're upset and you're mad and you feel like you have a story to tell. Teresa, in my opinion, you should have told that story long before now. Long before now, sister girl, you should have told that story. Toya, thank you, my love. Much appreciated. Marty, thank you. I appreciate you, sis. Teresa, you should have told that story long before now. Miss Detroit says, I rode with her until she came with the shits. Now I see she did betray the code. Miss Detroit. Miss Detroit. This shit is deeper than we know. Chucky says, I don't care what anyone says. Kenneka's soul is not resting. Chucky, I'm with you. She can't be. She cannot be resting. Hey, St. Louis, welcome, my love. Happy holidays to you as well, baby. Hey, Dorleen. My girl said, I'm late at work. Welcome, boo. Cynthia says this case confused the hell out of me. It's sickening. I'm not confused. Samantha said, I pray that the real story will be revealed. I pray to God as well. My sister Top, I see you, boo. I see you. Copper says, Teresa claims she wanted to save people's lives, but all she did was sacrifice innocent people to protect the villains. Copper, let's talk about that, because I got some problems. Everybody that was close to cracking this case wide open had mishaps along the way. Mishaps. First person to take the streets and expose the Kenneka Jenkins case and all that was going on with it was Zach TV. This young man was too close. And it's unfortunate. All of a sudden, he's unalived. And then the same message that was clearly delivered to Zach. Why is it now that Jedediah is getting these same messages? Zach TV was the only person that interviewed some of Kenneka's friends. They knew what was going on. And unfortunately, a few of her friends are no longer here either to tell their story. Something ain't right. Cool Girl Sister says, Mocha, I'm just saying, seems that this mom just needed money to support her addict addiction. And we all here with our opinions. Very selfish she is, Copper. She's very selfish. Now, Miss Detroit. This shit made no sense to me. She says they tricked her into taking the money, held her hostage until they took it. Where do they do that shit in America? Somebody's gonna hold you hostage and tell you to take this money. And if you don't take this money, X, Y, and Z, ma'am, please stop. It's the lies for me. It's the damn lies. And Teresa, at this point, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Teresa is doing too much. Samantha said it was said that she didn't care for Kenneka when she was alive either. I heard that. I heard that as well. I don't know that to be certain, but I I heard some things. And the few days that I've been gone and I popped on this morning, oh God, we got some things to talk about. Anne says this will never end. This will never end until Teresa goes to prison. She's the ending to this beginning, and you're onto something. Teresa knows too much, and Teresa is playing in people's face. And if you don't see it for what it is, you're going to believe the lies that Teresa tells. D, she's desperate, boo. Desperate. Miss Detroit said, well, she got that call, MOCA, like Zach got. She listened. He didn't. And them people was on their head. They were all YouTubers too. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Tracy Ellen, welcome, boo. And says Teresa was also the one who was threatening Zach. And he lost his life trying to find out what happened to baby girl. Teresa's a damn Eastern Star. Shut your mouth. Yes, she is. I found that out. Found that out. And I just pay attention now how all this is tying together. Let me just stop right there where you're saying that Teresa is the Eastern Star. Teresa has a son. Carla Henry, welcome, baby. Teresa has a son. We're going to talk about these sacrifices. I remember years ago when Kenneka said Teresa had forbid her to go and visit her brother. Rather that brother. Hey, Wanda, welcome, boo. Whether that brother was in jail, as they say, but some they said he was in a mental institution. I gotta go pull up the records. I gotta do my own research here. He was in prison, I do believe, but I gotta confirm that. He has Kenneka's name tattooed on him. And then there's this emblem on his forehead that he tattooed over her name. As a sacrifice. It looks like a ritual to me. And then I remember Teresa making a post and saying some dumb shit like Kenneka was in that freezer, curled up, like she was with the Egyptians. And what lady, what lady, hold up. Because that's not what a grieving mother should be focused on. Teresa was all over the place with this. Whew. Teresa was all over the place with this. But I do believe something got something to do with sacrifices. Teresa was all over the place. And my thing is, I don't care Whose hand was in seeking justice for this baby? Guys, if you don't mind, please hit the like button, share out the live. I don't care whose hand was in seeking justice for this baby. Teresa should have set her ass there and allowed justice to do what justice should have done. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, I do believe that Teresa did all of this to be a distraction. I believe that Teresa played a role in all of this so Teresa don't be held responsible for what she knows. Teresa's done too much. Regardless of what people may think, say about Jedediah, he could be a crook, he could be whatever they want him to be. I don't know him. All I know is he's an activist. That's all I know. That man didn't have to put his life on the line for Kenneka and no other case out there, but he did. He made himself an image in the public. So do y'all remember when she fell out with Jedediah? That wasn't no disagreement. That was a full-on ghetto chaotic limb swinging meltdown online. She went live crying, screaming, accusing, contradicting herself, deleting posts, reposting similar rants like she was addicted to the attention and the drama it brought. She said the man was stealing, lying, profiting off her daughter. She also used him because, if we want to be honest, Jedediah gave Teresa more visibility. Because my thing is, if Jedediah was as dangerous as she said he was, if he was as dangerous as Teresa says he was, why did she keep going back on live with him? And why the hell did she allow him to keep advocating for her? Teresa, sit your ass down. And let me tell y'all something about inconsistent people. The moment the spotlight shifts off them, they manufacture chaos to get it back. Her issue with Jedediah was not betrayal. Her issue was that he became more of a spokesperson for her daughter than she ever was. That's it and that's all. And she couldn't handle it because her ego was in competition with her own child's tragedy. That whole Jedediah saga, it showed who she really was. She was messy. She was dramatic. She was ego-driven and allergic to accountability. Teresa ain't shit. And I did say she ain't shit. Now let's talk a little bit more. Because we could be all over the place because Teresa's all over the place. Teresa Cam brought her ass out here, even mentioned Lil Durk. That was the latest, one of her newest rants. Lil Durk sent people to break in her house and unalive her son. Is Teresa crazy? Out of all the people in Chicago, do you think Lil Durk, with an entire empire behind him, is worried about your son, ma'am? Lil Durk ain't thinking about you, your furniture, neither your damn doorknobs. You gonna take your ragged ass online, shaking, crying, screaming, talking about hit squads and assassins like your life is a Netflix thriller. Sit your ass down, please, ma'am. As soon as people challenge your ass, welcome everyone to the chat. Soon as people start challenging you, Teresa, ask them for proof. The live disappeared. How convenient was that? When somebody's first instinct is to create a conspiracy, instead of explaining what's really going on in their household, Teresa was doing a lot of deflection. That rant was definitely not about she being in no kind of damn danger. That rant was about relevance. Because anytime the internet forgets her, she pops back up with a crisis, a goddamn meltdown, or an accusation. The rants, Jedediah, Lil Durk, all these dramatic storylines tell you exactly who Teresa is. A woman who thrives in chaos, accuses before she thinks. She weaponized her tears and her damn trauma. She attacks her. She sits up there and she attaches herself to anybody and then cries wolf when the relationship collapsed, just like she did with Jedediah. And that's why her daughter's case has been handled in chaos. Because she was chaos. Something is wrong with this lady. Something is wrong with Teresa. She don't just lash out. She fabricates. She exaggerates. She projects. And she escalates every situation to remain relevant. And her behavior now matches the same behavior she had then, which means it wasn't grief. It was her damn personality. Nah, Teresa. Because Teresa, this hotel, man, no hotel goes that quiet with a case like this on the line. They don't go that quiet for no reason whatsoever. Nothing about that hotel silence was normal to me. I don't care what nobody says. No reputable hotel sits quiet through that type of tragedy. You damn sure ain't gonna sit quiet through a teenager's death, underage partying, alcohol, missing person, body found in the freezer, and then y'all just go shrug it off. But y'all know what was normal? What we saw at that hotel wasn't normal, but what was normal was Teresa's silence. That hotel should have been screaming, but they weren't. This was not a slip and fall situation. It wasn't a lost wallet. A child died inside a major hotel's kitchen area. Hotel with cameras, security, staff, protocol. And they turned into the quiet game champions of Chicago. A hotel that stays that quiet is a hotel that's protected. Y'all heard me, right? And protected hotels usually have one thing involved, and that's money. That's money. But then again, I heard what I heard. I heard what I heard. And allegedly, that hotel has a lot to do with organ harvesting. And Teresa, you knew about it. Teresa, you ain't shit for the performance you're putting on right now. Now, let me ask y'all something. As mothers, fathers, your baby died inside of a building full of cameras, whether it's a freezer or not. Wouldn't you be at that hotel every day demanding answers? Wouldn't you have lawyers, real ones, on speed dial? I would be flipping tables and raising hell, calling out everybody until the truth came out. But not Teresa. Teresa was online arguing with the internet. Checking comments. Your ass wasn't demanding hallway footage. You was demanding people to stop talking about the money that you got. When two sides shut up at the same time, when two sides shut up at the same damn time, somebody done got satisfied. And when I say two sides shut up at the same time, the hotel was quiet. Teresa went quiet. And the truth. Baby, the truth went in the trash behind the ice machine. And what people don't like to admit is this. Teresa's energy changed real quick. Her crying turned into shopping. Teresa bought a car that her ass couldn't even pronounce with her broke ass. Her confusion turned into confidence. She got confident when she got them BBLs, her and her daughter. Her urgency turned into excuses. She made an excuse for every damn thing she did. And her questions turned into Facebook Lives. Something happened behind the scenes because her fire went from blazing to barely showing a candle flicker. I'm confused. I'm confused. If you're supposed to be 100% convinced that your daughter died suspiciously, you should still be in a phase of seeking justice. And that little change you got should have never been an option. It should have never been something that you were willing to compromise. But instead, Teresa, you just let it go. You just stopped pushing because the money looked good. You stopped questioning the footage. People don't just stop fighting for the truth unless they already got something they feel compensated for. Teresa was never mad. And I want y'all to know that. Teresa was never mad at that hotel. Teresa went off on everybody, but Teresa never went off at that hotel. Never. I don't understand that. How could you, Teresa? How could you? Ms. Detroit says, oh Lord, we were friends on Facebook until she got her money and she vanished. Teresa didn't want to be bothered with y'all broke ass. Teresa said she had money. She didn't need no new friends. Cool Girl Sister says, Mocha, when she signed those papers for her daughter's unalignment, I wouldn't have signed nothing until I got answers, but that's how we feel. But Teresa's a whole different monster, baby. Teresa was a broke, we could call it for what it is. Broke, ain't used to having nothing, ain't never had nothing. $3 million to her seemed like a lot. That showed you just what she thought of her child. But Teresa don't understand. You reap what you sow in this life. Copper says, I definitely wouldn't care what people gossiping about when I know there's a circle of monsters who took my child's life in vain. Exactly, Copper. Exactly. Ms. Detroit, Teresa's out here now saying, why did it take 8 years for Teresa to hold this argument about the people not giving her daughter stuff? Teresa's been 8 years. Now you around here, you want Kenneka's weave. Bitch, that shit done dry rot. You're looking for her clothes. Teresa, are you okay? 8 years later. 8 years later, you looking for stuff. I don't know what didn't gave you the smoke, Teresa. But you need to go unsmoke it, boo. Please. My girl Erica said yes, because I'm a firm witness. My fight definitely wasn't easy. And I definitely would never take no money for my son's death. That's a real mama, Erica. That's a real mama. Teresa was too busy trying to get my girl Rockers up in here. Teresa was too busy trying to go get a BBL. Too busy trying to buy a man. Too busy trying to compete with her daughter. Too busy trying to go buy a car that she couldn't pronounce. You're going to go buy things. All these things. And your daughter still never got the justice that she deserved. And now, Kenneka is tearing your ass apart. And you on social media losing your mind, Teresa. Come on, Teresa. Come on, my girl. Rochelle says, I thank God for my mother. She has never given up on me, ever, even when I was badass. She didn't give up on me, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you, Jesus Christ. That I know she is, sis. My girl Tanya says, when you have a damn good attorney, you don't listen. Because she had too many people in her ear. The attorney says, well, this is not how I work. You need to get someone else to handle this. Tanya, nobody with good sense wanted to deal with Teresa. Teresa was unhinged and all over the damn place. All Teresa saw was dollars. Teresa never saw her daughter. Ms. Detroit said that's why she took the money. And all us YouTubers, she blamed us instead of keep going. All for $3.7 million. And you shake her ass upside down right now. She ain't $3.7 million. You shake Teresa upside down right now. She don't have 3.7 cents. Her behavior shows that. Her behavior shows that. And it's a shame. It is a shame. Hey, Mary, welcome, my love. Ann says Teresa never came out fully having concern. But now that the money is gone, she has a lot to say, and she's saying too much. Ms. Detroit said them protesters got the fuck on after they found out she took the deal. And Jedediah told us it was weird. She stopped protesters too. That's what I don't understand. Why would she get in the way of the protesters? Why would she get in the way of the protesters? That says a lot about who she is as a mother. I don't care if I didn't have no more fight in me, but I'm going to appreciate those that stood on the front line for mine. Teresa, you done showed your whole ass out here. Ms. Detroit said she said it in her line. They told her what happened to her daughter, but they didn't give her the other personal stuff. But Ms. Detroit, that's where I'm confused, right? How is it they're going to tell you what happened to your daughter? You satisfied with that, you accept that, and then you turn your slow ass right around and sign an NDA. I could never. Because back then I had to ask myself, I wondered, girl, was Kenneka your biological daughter? Because ain't no real mama act like this. But then as I looked and I researched and I did this and I did, that's her daughter. So what was the hatred? What was going on, Teresa? What was going on that made you feel that you could have threw your child in life and death under the bus? Lady D says, as a mom who lost a daughter, there's not enough money in this world to make me sell my soul to the devil for money. Amen to that. Because that's not what a real mama does. Hush money. Hush money. Teresa, they saw you coming. They saw you coming, Teresa. And you know what's the unfortunate part? When they whispered dollars in your ears, it may have seemed like a whole lot. And when they whispered the dollars in your ears, that's when you turn your back on the very people that was advocating and seeking justice for your daughter. You turn your back on them. And you allowed the family members to gaslight you. You had very poor understanding. They allowed you to believe that that was a whole lot of money. They helped you run through it, yeah. And now you're sitting out here and you're looking crazy as hell. Hey, Shell, baby, welcome, my love. Copper said, I would have probably took the money. And if they told the truth in some NDA and still exposed them, if she would have played her cards right, if she was smart. Rhapsody said a girl got to be on drugs. Ms. Detroit said they caught the man here in Detroit that was shipping organs to O'Hara Airport. Wow. It leaked. They poked a hole in it and it leaked blood out. And they called police. She got a lot of nerve. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Evelyn Gentry, thank you, my love, for the super sticker, baby. Copper says, I'd have been somewhere hiding and telling it all. I'm hiring Russian personal security to attend court. Copper, that part. Copper. Copper. I swear I would have told it all. You hear me? Shit. Teresa, you ain't handling business the right way, boo. And it's a little too late to think you could handle it any other way. Teresa, you done dropped the ball. You done dropped the ball. I promise you, you have. It's me. Welcome to the NOLA Bells, my love. Thank you so very much for becoming a member. We welcome you here. Ms. Detroit says, right, they told her ass they took the Morgans, and that had happened to her in that motel, and this broad still took money. You gotta be a crackhead, that part. Teresa, we need you to the front of the class, Teresa. Because Teresa, on a good day nor a bad day, bitch, can nobody tell me that they done took my child's organs, harvested her, and yet, you sit your ass there and you settled for $3 million. Teresa. And that's what you learned in Eastern Star, ma'am. They need to revoke your card because you're slow. This is not what people do, Teresa. But they told it to you. Cynthia says she ignorant. She signed a contract of the devil, and she did. But my thing is that cheerleading section that was behind her to tell her, yeah, take the 3-point whatever meal. Take them. Where were they? Where were they when those people sit up there and told her that they took that child's organs? Where were they? The same people that was about to expose all this truth, Teresa, you turned on them. Nah. Ms. Detroit said, yep, he got threatened on live. I was on his channel, MOCA. He was told to get the fuck on. I'm telling you, Ms. Detroit, everybody that's close to, spilling the truth, they're disappearing one at a time. The only person, and there ain't but two, to my understanding, that's still left. And they moved. They moved. They got the hell on. And I'm glad they moved because now these people are fighting for their lives because Teresa, allegedly, you're pointing them all out. You're pointing them all out. So the only two that supposedly left is Irene and Monifa. That's the only two that's supposedly left. Like a sunshine. Hey, boo. Copper, that's the funniest shit I ever heard. They held her hostage and told her, hey, I'm going to hold you hostage. Hey, can you take these couple of meals? What? Chucky said they would have had to kill me about my child on my soul. Chucky, you understand? Wanda says, what? I got to catch up. She forgot what goes on in the dark comes to the light. She forgot. But no, she didn't forget. Teresa don't think. Samantha. Ugh. I heard. See, this shit with Teresa got to be in segments. Because if not, we'll be here till Easter Sunday playing with Teresa and her shenanigans. Samantha said, now an entertainer. Have parts of Kenneka. I heard that and I melted. But the dates coincide. The timeline coincide. And my thing is this. If an entertainer, and this is my opinion and my opinion only, if an entertainer has Kenneka's kidney, that's the word on a curve. If an entertainer has that baby's kidney, I don't need y'all putting the name in the chat right now. Not only should Teresa be held responsible along with that hotel, and that's my opinion and mine only, but that entertainer needs to be held accountable because money talks and bullshit walk. And them $3.67 million that Teresa got, that was the price that entertainer paid, because Teresa ain't won no damn lawsuit. The first one she filed, they threw it out of court. I want y'all to understand, the very first lawsuit that Teresa filed, it was thrown out of court. Charlotte's Web, hey sis. Then all of a sudden, here comes another lawsuit. And it was so many people. If Teresa's supposed to be the only, Teresa was the parent. Tell me, I understand that the attorney got 33 and a third. Who were the other people that collected off of this lawsuit? That was, in my opinion, that was the entertainer paying for the kidney. That's what I believe. I believe that entertainer paid for that kidney. I'm just saying. You have to take Teresa's shenanigans and make it make sense. Now, Teresa, you may not come out here and publicly admit it, ma'am. So now you fighting the world with your broke ass. And your daughter is living through somebody else who's making money on top of money on top of money, and you still in the poorhouse. Teresa, you're looking bad, but you want answers. Why you want answers, Teresa, when you know where your baby girl kidney is? And that's what that Eastern Star taught you. And that's what the Eastern Star taught you. I don't know who you mad at, Teresa. I don't know who you want to give you any answers. You done got your payday. These people ain't reopening no case for you. So whatever it is that you got to say, just go on there and say it, because right now, boo, you're riding for free. You're ranting for free. Keep ranting. Because eventually you're going to tell the truth. Kenneka going to make you tell the truth. Because right now she's riding your back. Mm. A mess. Ms. Detroit says, and it was a rumor. She went with her cousin's baby. She went with her cousin. Baby is too much for TV. The uncle got killed too. I heard the uncle was unalive right after Kenneka. Ann said it's alleged that Zach did have prior knowledge with Kenneka. Zach was threatened by Teresa in that phone call. Zach hung up with the same. Let me tell you something, Ann. And you're absolutely right here. Zach did interviews. Zach have footage of Kenneka in the streets. It was some shit going on long before this happened with this baby. Long before. Zach interviewed people that they thought he could never reach. So let's not spin that narrative that he's no longer here and it didn't have nothing to do with Kenneka. Zach interviewed employees of that hotel. He did interviews that the police refused to do because they were afraid of the people involved. Not only did he reach people at that hotel, he reached out to, quote unquote, the bad boys that rented that room. He went on and he knew everything there was to know. He knew too much. And he was getting close and he was rocking the boat. He was rocking the boat. And that's the same thing. And that's why the chaos is coming out right now with Jedediah. When Teresa wouldn't shut up, it fueled Jedediah's spirit. So he came and he started exposing Teresa as well. Now he's getting phone calls. We have to make it make sense. So Teresa, you're a common denominator, ma'am. Samantha says, look at the owner of the hotel and who he's related to, and then you will find the answer. Hello? My girl Nisha is up in here. Hey, boo. Drag Race, and I see you, my love. Spiritual Butterfly, welcome, welcome, welcome. She says her daughter left a lot of signs behind. Clout is dangerous. Spiritual Butterfly, clout is a mother. You hear me? It is. Ms. Detroit said all them people in Rosemont is connected to each other in them high positions they are. Hey, Aboriginal. Hello, MOCA. First time on your channel, and I respect people who speak truth about this case. So blessings to you for this. Thank you, my love. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. That means everything to me. Ms. Detroit says Zach got a call from a lady that brought him the message. Copper says, I agree. I have nothing negative to feel towards Jedediah. He was frontline, and that was enough for me. He didn't have to do that. Carla Henry, do me a favor, my love. I understand. I see you want to be a part of the chat. We get that. I respect that. But if we could just hold back from inserting all those names in the chat, I would truly, truly, respect that, baby. Ann says they was trying to threaten Jedediah the same way they done Zach. But Jedediah knows that aftermath of Teresa's bullshit up to now, that part. Teresa's side, Teresa blindsided it. And we have to call it for what it is. Teresa wanted the clout. She wanted the fame. She wanted it all to be about her. And I'm with you. That lady's the most wicked mom I've ever seen anybody. Damn, DD says she always look higher than a giraffe, kitty. She ain't shit, sis. Trying to grab all these comments before I move on. Because I hate to heal her. Welcome, boo. Of course Teresa is broke. Ms. Detroit says she needs to be saying what they told her happened to Kenneka. I mean, that part. She's out here doing all of what she's doing. My question is, you're broke, Teresa. You can't pay for another lawyer, my girl. The case will never be reopened. So, Teresa, you're doing all of this showboating for what? Why have you not? Who you think you baiting in, Teresa? Because you're not smart enough for it. You're talking all of that big talk. But make me understand, why not one time have you set out here? Why have you not one time set out here and said what these people told you? You claim they told you what happened. They held you hostage and made you take the money. The money gone. You ain't got no more parts of them because you did say that you was afraid you would end up in court again because you couldn't shut up. So since you can't shut up, keep talking. Tell us what they said happened to your daughter. In my opinion, Teresa is more part of the problem than the hotel or the police because she sold her daughter out. And that's where it hurts the most. That's where it hurts the most. Because my thing is that hotel silence was suspicious. But Teresa's silence was even more suspicious. And the timing of both, that's where people's spirit said, something ain't right. But to understand why her behavior didn't match her story, we got to talk about the one thing. Got to talk about that money. Got to talk about it. Got to talk about it. Teresa ain't shit. I'm not accusing Teresa of no crime, y'all. All I'm doing is pointing out a pattern that don't align with the mother fighting. for the truth. Her behavior is what I'm analyzing. We watching this unfold in real time. We've been watching this for 8 years. Her behavior didn't just tell a story, it exposed a whole damn pattern. A whole pattern. Teresa's behavior don't match her message. Teresa is full of inconsistencies, distraction. She had misplaced anger, full of emotional chaos. Something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. So now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Talk about the elephant in the room. The money, the settlement, the shift in Teresa's spirit. Because once that payout hit, y'all, her fight for justice went straight out the damn window. We saw it. We saw it. We saw it. The money that everybody heard about, but nobody really understood. First, it was the $10 million headline. We're going to start there. Everybody saw that headline. Kenneka Jenkins family awarded $10 million. The internet lost their mind. But we're going to tell the truth about it. We know that Teresa ain't walk away with no $10 million. That was the total settlement. And after the attorney, court costs, fees, and distribution, she got about 3.7. And now here's where it really gets funky. Because before the settlement, Teresa was screaming, crying, posting, ranting, begging for justice. And we saw that after that settlement, her whole vibe changed. The fire she had, it was gone. The interviews, no more. The pressure on the hotel, oops, she shut the hell up. Her accountability was non-existent. I want y'all to know something. Money did not silence that hotel. Money silenced Teresa. Soon as that money hit, she started moving different. New clothes, new wigs, new attitude, new ego. Teresa walked her ass around here with the I'm famous now energy. She wasn't grieving. She was glowing, so she thought. Her tone changed. The way she talked to people changed in them videos. She went from a morning mother to a Facebook half-ass celebrity with a pocket full of settlement money and a whole lot of time to argue with strangers. Her daughter died. And this is the part that hurts the most. Her daughter died, but she got a lifestyle upgrade. Teresa got a lifestyle upgrade from ghetto to ghetto fabulous. Y'all ever notice how after that payout she suddenly found time for drama again? If you grieving a child, why you got energy to have these rants about Jedediah? public meltdowns. Come on, Teresa, but you ain't had no energy to confront that damn hotel. Teresa she stopped looking for footage. She stopped pushing for accountability. And mama in that hotel suddenly shared the same priority. That hotel said, let's move the hell on. Teresa said, I got a few dollars, let me move on too. And look where she's at today. 8 years later, she ranting about celebrities, making up conspiracies, accusing rappers of trying to unalive her son. She's still arguing with Facebook like it's her job. But where's the passion for Kenneka? And I'm just here to tell y'all, her passion for her daughter, it died the moment that check cleared. It did. Teresa, that same urgency that you feel compelled to have by getting online every night, that bullshit. You didn't have that energy for your daughter, nor the case. You didn't have that same urgency for that freezer, for the timeline, for the footage, for the so-called injustice. And that's why, to a lot of us, it never truly felt like justice was your priority, Teresa. Attention was. And if we're going to be politically correct, and if we're going to be honest about this situation, that settlement didn't bring you no peace. All it did was gave you a little comfort. It made you live a little better than you were living to begin with. And that comfort, that little piece of comfort it gave you, ghetto fabulous, it killed that urgency. That's why the timeline shifted, and that's why the energy changed. And that's why, Teresa, your behavior today still mirrors the same damn chaos you showed us 8 years ago. Money didn't buy justice for Kenneka. Money bought silence for Teresa, though. It did. You never fought the right people, Teresa. You never pushed for real answers. You never maintained consistency. That behavior that you display, that you used to display, damn, that wasn't from grief. That was your character. That's who you've always been. And we see it. That's who you've been. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Then, when a known gang member, because that's what they said, it was a gang member that rent that room, everything changed. It's a part of this story that Teresa never told. The media never touched. And the police sure in the hell never touch. And yet is the part that explains the most. The person that rented that room wasn't no innocent teenager. So we're going to stop pretending. That room was allegedly rented by someone with known gang ties. Not no choir boy, not no honor roll sweetheart, a street dude. And when they rent hotel rooms, it ain't no Disney sleepover. We know that to be factual. Money was in that room. Drugs was in that room. Loyalty was also in that room. And danger was automatically attached to that room. When you got that kind of element involved, silence becomes a survival skill. And we wonder why Teresa stayed quiet. I'm not saying she protected whoever got that room. I'm not saying she knew everything. I'm not even saying she was involved, but what I am saying, mothers in Chicago know street energy when they see it. And if she knew who rented that room, or who was tied to that person, or what could come from naming names, staying quiet made more sense to her. Not morally, not spiritually, but realistically. You don't go to war with the streets if you know you ain't built for street retaliation. That's why she stayed quiet. She was threatened. And then she was threatened to threaten others. That's the game she played. She sold out. And this hotel, let's talk about it real quick too. They didn't stay silent for free. It was a whole conspiracy, a whole organization. If they knew who was linked to renting that room. So they had every reason to shut the hell up. Because exposing that angle opens up a whole new can of investigations for them. I mean, it was some high people involved in this. And the hotel don't want no investigations to add on to the investigations that they've already been privy to. Hotels go cover up for money. They will cover for liability, and they damn sure going to cover to avoid a gang war inside their building. And these people did not want to be exposed for the allegations that's being made of organ harvesting. So now you got a mama that's being quiet, a hotel being quiet for two completely different reasons that just happen to line up perfectly. So I don't understand the stance Teresa took. And then here come the plot twist. Just when the protest was getting big, the activists were making noise, lots of noise. The pressure was hitting the mayor, the police, the hotel. Out of nowhere, Teresa tells Jedediah to cut it off. Stop everything, because if y'all keep going, somebody's going to get hurt. That was the warning. That was his warning. Now, MOCA has a question. How would Teresa know that? Who was going to do the hurting? And why? Why was Teresa the damn messenger? Let's talk about it. See, those are the questions that ain't nobody asking. You called off the protest, Teresa. You said somebody was going to get hurt. How would you know that? Who was going to do the hurting? And Teresa, why were you the messenger? I want to know. I want to know. Ann says Teresa spent that money. Has nothing to show specifically about Kenneka. Motherly wise. Damn, Tony said I got her drinking coffee because she ain't about to waste her liquor. I just heard something about she was at the hotel a couple of days before all this happened. I wonder what was all that about. Setting shit up. Setting shit up. Because right now, Teresa, you got me confused. Compa said, Mocha, that's exactly what I wanted to know. Hurt by who? Hurt for what? Exactly, Carla Henry. To my understanding, Teresa was at that hotel the whole time. So now you say all of this to Jedediah, right? But Teresa, people with common sense want to know where you get this from. Because you just don't warn people about danger that you can't see. You only warn people about danger that you recognize, Teresa. So, Teresa, what is it that you know? Now, do y'all remember this part? How many people ended up unalive during the time of the protests and all this other stuff was going on? And Teresa said nothing. Nothing. Not one tear was shed. Not one demand, not one question. Not one who did this, not one we need answers. And there was a reason why she didn't say nothing. Because speaking on that would have forced her to speak on the people she didn't want to mention. Believe it or not, Teresa was protecting somebody. We don't know. We don't know who she was protecting. But I'm saying this, her silence has a source. Her fear has a source. Her sudden change in behaviors have a source. And whatever that source was, she was more scared of that source than she was hungry for justice for her baby. And that is why the truth never came out. That's why. That's why. Teresa, who are you protecting, Teresa? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. At the end of the day, the only person who truly got failed in this whole situation was Kenneka. Teresa has failed her daughter in life and in death. People could say what they want, call me wrong, call me harsh, call me judgmental, I don't give a damn. The truth is simple though. That girl didn't just get failed by a hotel, she got failed by her own damn mama. Mama who cared more about attention than answers, cared more about cameras than clarity, and damn sure cared more about money than a life that she brought into this world. Her behavior told the truth. Teresa, you don't sign away your voice if you want justice. You went and signed a damn NDA. A whole gag order, Teresa, agreeing to never speak on your daughter again. Teresa, have you lost your damn mind? Something you birthed, something you brought into this world. Something you brought into this world. Can't nobody tell me to hush. Can't nobody tell me to never speak on my child again. And then you had the nerve to act shocked when people call you greedy. Sweetheart, a mama who wants justice don't sign papers to silence her. A mama who wants the truth don't let attorneys hold you hostage, as you says, and tell you to shut up. A mama who wants answers don't file a lawsuit, take a check, and then disappear. But a mama who wants money will do everything that you've done. Now you out here crying about how your attorneys trick you. Girl, stop. In my opinion, there was nothing but regret from you. You was tricked. You was lied to. You were bullied. You were silenced. Baby, where was all this energy when the ink was fresh? Where was that fire before the money dried up, Teresa? Where was this version of you when the protest was happening? People don't feel tricked when the money's still high. They feel tricked when the reality hits and the money is no more. Because we have to be honest. It's been 8 years now. And every few years, Teresa pops back up with a new conspiracy, a new meltdown, a new person to blame. 1 minute is Jedediah. Next minute is the bloggers. The next minute is Lil Durk. The next minute is attorneys. But you know who she never blames. She never blamed the hotel. All the names Teresa out here calling. The hotel has never been one. Why? That's the bigger question, why? And the answer to that is simple. Because she paid for her silence. And she spent it. And she knows what happened She knows the involvement of that hotel. Teresa should have nightmares the rest of her life. Organ harvesting, huh, Teresa? Organ harvesting. And you got a celebrity walking around here with your daughter's kidney. You got a celebrity walking around here with your child's kidney. And you're okay with that. So Kenneka is truly living on through somebody else. That kidney is living a rich life. And your broke ass is still over there blaming the world and not taking accountability for the role that you play. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, please hit that like button for your girl. Teresa called herself upgrading her life while leaving her daughter's case to rot. Tell me this shit ain't crazy. Her daughter, and they're going to stop that, mysteriously died in a freezer. Let's go back to that freezer. Because now the organ harvesting and the other theories that's out there is beginning to make sense. Because if the story they put out there that Kenneka was drunk or she was drugged or whatever the story is they put out there, I get it. Because they had to come up with something. Why was that baby only wearing one shoe? Where they tried to dress her back and they just placed that Tootie Scott, welcome, boo. She said she sound possessed. So what happened? They did what they did, and because I'm not understanding that freezer either. Because if there's a way in, there should be a way out. See, all this shit ain't making sense. It ain't adding up to me. But that's a live stream for another day. And your response, Teresa, when you upgraded your life, knowing the way your daughter left this world, your response to your daughter no longer being here was to go get a BBL. Go get enhancements. And Teresa, whatever enhancements you got, boo, you still looking ghetto fabulous. You got lashes. Come on, wigs. You must have ran out of money because you back to scalp again. Teresa, in my opinion, you was broken, battered, wounded. You was all of that because life had done tore your ass up prior to this. And you took them little measly 3 point whatever million and you tried to heal yourself while leaving your daughter unhealed, unanswered, and forgotten. How the hell you go to sleep at night, Teresa, while the truth about your child laid in that freezer? This is not grief, Teresa. That's gratification. And I do believe that Teresa is only talking now because she has nothing left to lose. And I want y'all to understand, Teresa did not break that NDA out of being brave. She broke it out of boredom, loneliness, attention withdrawal, and regret. Her money slowing up. Her name losing steam. Now she want to come back and play the victim. Nah, baby. Because you're not speaking your truth. What you out here doing is speaking your consequences. And as far as I'm concerned, the real victim is still the one with no voice. The only person who truly lost everything is still gone. Kenneka didn't get a second chance. She didn't get a BBL. She didn't get time to glow up. She didn't get money, a public platform, or a lawsuit. What y'all gave her was a freezer. And that's why this case, 8 years later, still haunts people. Because she lost her life. She didn't even get a mother who was willing to fight for it. Teresa, if nobody ever told you, if nobody ever told you, mother's job is to protect their children, not profit off of their death. Not silence yourself for a check. A mother's job is not to upgrade her body while her daughter's case stays cold. Mother's job is not to weaponize trauma for attention, Teresa. And it's damn sure not to rewrite history when guilt kicks in. Teresa, a mother's job is to fight for justice. Even when it hurts. Even when it's hard. Even when she's alone, because that's what a real mother does. And the truth is simple. Teresa, you done none of that. You centered yourself. You protected yourself. You elevated yourself. And you left your goddamn daughter behind. And that is the hardest pill of them all. Of all of the things. So Teresa, again, you failed your daughter in life and in death. We didn't fail Kenneka. Society didn't fail her. The hotel didn't fail her by themselves. Teresa, you failed her the most. You failed her the most. And that's why we talk about this, to remind mamas everywhere your child's story should never end while your glow up begins. Hey, Lorenzo, thank you, my love sister. This is my first time coming across this channel. I'm listening at my job, but you're speaking good, powerful truth that's sounding soothing to my ears. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. Thank you very much for that. Now, and before I close out and go back to reading y'all comments, I want y'all to hear my heart behind every word I said tonight. It ain't about judging her. It ain't about judging Teresa at all. It's not about tearing her down, and it's not about dragging her, who supposedly are supposed to be hurting. Tonight is still about honoring Kenneka, who got failed at every single turn. But I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. Teresa, you failed your daughter. And I'm calling you out on your bullshit. I'm going to call you out because Teresa ain't no mama in her right mind should have to deal with your bullshit. Then you came out here, and let me not forget this. Teresa, that's how I know you're smoking. Teresa, you made a post on Thursday. You said, Kenneka told me Thursday that God was going to use my story to give. Then you ended it saying, but God be the glory. Teresa, if you don't sit your ass down claiming that you got direct spiritual communication with your daughter, now you're saying you're chosen to speak now, as in Thursday was your day to speak. Around here saying you're going back in court because you got to talk. You're posting about being tricked. All of this hints that you feel called to explain yourself or justify. You don't have to justify shit. Teresa, I got problems. You posted that. Kenneka told you Thursday is your day to speak. Then you got emojis, muscles, pointing up, kissy face, purple husband. You ain't confusing me because that don't match no type of seriousness. That always confuses people. It looked like you're posting about a regular life event, not a child who tragically died. Teresa, this is crazy to me. And I want to know, Teresa, why Thursday? Why now? Why after the settlement post? Why after you said you was forced to be silent? Why after you keep saying you might go to court? You are as unpredictable as you look, Teresa. You really are. That's a whole different level of behavior. How you telling people that your deceased daughter came to you and told you the exact day you were supposed to speak? Come on. Come on. Now you're trying to spiritualize guilt. Teresa, ain't nobody got time to play with you. You're trying to justify years of silence. Instead of coming out here saying, I stayed silent because I chose to, now you're blaming spiritual timing. You don't want to take no accountability. Still looking for shortcuts. Trying to put a divine stamp on your own inconsistencies, Teresa, that don't work. Stop deflecting. Just stop, Teresa. Because them posts you're posting ain't shit grieving about that. You ain't mourning. You're not. Teresa, I'm ashamed for you. Really, I am. Really, I am. All these years, now all of a sudden your daughter's speaking. But the problem is, the guilt is catching up to you, Teresa. The public pressure is wearing your ass out, Teresa. The lies are catching up to you and they ain't lining up very well, Teresa. The silence is no longer comfortable. And the conscience is talking loud. So instead of admitting guilt, failure, or choices, you want to run to the spiritual realm. Teresa, sit your ass down because God ain't told you nothing. You trying to soften the blow using that one. Hey, lovely Leo. Lovely Leo said, you don't ask questions when you have the answers. That part. It's me, says Mocha. How she said she signed something that she didn't know what she was signing about her baby. Teresa's lying. Listen, that money got the best of Teresa. That money got the best of Teresa. Samantha said she was there at the hotel 3 days before it happened. Samantha, I heard. So, Samantha, I still believe what I believe. Teresa knows a lot. And I believe, and that is my opinion and my right. I have a right to believe that. That settlement that Teresa received, the 10 million. Everybody that was in Teresa's camp knew exactly what happens because Teresa said they knew. And I believe that $10 million payoff came from the very person, that bought that baby's kidney. And Teresa, I hope you don't never have another peaceful night the rest of your days. Hey, Sugar Cane, welcome. Sugar Cane said, first of all, y'all stop being foolish. Did y'all see Teresa yet? No. Y'all just hear a voice, and then Jedediah pops up. I don't think so. Let me see Teresa live. Now, Teresa, thank you, Sister Rock. Teresa knows, boo, she knows. Carla Henry said all those videos were edited. I believe it, Carla Henry. I do believe that. And I believe, Carla Henry, the footage was definitely edited. And, it's all love. Ain't Detroit says, Mocha, everybody ain't cover this story the same way. And that's for real. Everybody did it their way. And to be honest, don't mean it was the right way, for real, for real. And that's facts. Miss Detroit, everybody has their way of delivery. Everybody have that way of delivery. And this is a situation where there's no way you could deliver everything that's embedded in this. You cannot deliver this in one segment. This shit has layers to it. It's me. Thank you so very much, my love. There's layers to this. And we just gonna sit down and let it play itself out. Carla Henry said the next day, she's a child of God. Carla Henry, she's working me, girl. She's working me. She needs to sit still. Oh yeah, karma is coming her way. Sunshine said, Teresa said she Hollywood. Miss Detroit said our videos is from 8 years ago, and now she woke it back up. She said she ain't sleep. She ain't slept in her recent life. I bet you she haven't. I bet you she haven't. She gonna have many more days of being up. Many days. Samantha said his story reminds me of Judas when he betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver and tried to take it back. Boom, there it is. Somebody say, Latte, welcome, baby. She said, this case is so deceiving, I couldn't keep up. It's all over the place. Hey, Kuano, there's no rest for the wicked. Welcome, my love. Antoine, welcome, baby. Welcome, guys, to the chat. I'm happy to have you here. Exactly, sunshine. Whether she was drugged, drunk, or whatever, she had no business being unalive. And then for them to say nobody saw what happened, that was bullshit to me. Samantha, 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 Samantha. We gonna cover that part on another day. Cause I'm right where you are right there with that, Samantha. Samantha said, and that's where that kidney comes in. That's where that kidney comes in. Samantha said it was said that she woke up while she was in surgery. And that was prior to this incident. That goes back to now what we just said. She woke up while she was in surgery, right? This goes back to the 3 days prior to this happening that Teresa was at that hotel. You gotta make this shit make sense. Ann says Teresa money gone. She better not try to give a damn. Baby girl has never gotten true redemption. Sins of her parent. I believe, and this is my belief. This is my true belief. And I could be wrong. I don't believe that Kenneka stumbled upon that freezer. She was that drunk. She was that out of it. There's no way. Now we have to use our common sense, because remember when I first opened this live stream, I asked you all to come in here with common sense and please use them. If Kenneka was as drunk as they say she was, intoxicated with medications that did not coincide with the alcohol that was in her system, that meant she was out of it, right? How did this baby have the strength, the energy, or the knowledge to open up that freezer? She was just walking, supposedly. Nah, this ain't adding up and this ain't making sense. Somebody put that baby in that freezer. That's it, and that's all. That's my belief. Somebody put her there. Hey, Colette, welcome, boo. Copper says, she just needs to expose it all. At this point, I'll document in writing and leave it someplace safe. Then I'm running my mouth to tell all. And whatever happens to me happens. Copper, as she should, if she really wants justice for her daughter. Because nothing Teresa has said or done yet made sense. Nothing. But she still ain't telling what she knows. And that's what makes her look oh so bad. That's what makes her look oh so bad. It's me, said see a duck that wants a baby. Items back after 8 years. I could never. She didn't care then. Why now? Exactly. Why now? 8 years later, you're looking for property. Who child worried about her belongings? Come on, ma'am. Copper, thank you, boo. I appreciate that so very much. Tootie says, after 8 years, why would she want her daughter clothes back? That lady weird. Something is really going on with her. She's breaking. She's breaking, girl. She's breaking. 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 She's She is breaking. Something is wrong with it. Teresa smoking that and whatever she's smoking, it ain't good. All of that money, you still smoking low level shit, Teresa. Come on now. Mr. Troy said, damn, what the fuck she buying, Mocha? To take up 3.7. Somebody talk to me because I want to know what she bought. Talk to her because she probably don't even know what she bought. Look at Teresa. Teresa I don't believe Teresa is going to tell the truth. Lorenzo says, don't forget, her making America great again. What's she trying to cater to the MAGA crowd now? Oh, Teresa's I'm telling y'all, Teresa's smoking. All that damn lying. Antoine said, Teresa said in the video before Kenneka passed that she was going to be a millionaire. How did she know that? Antoine, I'm going to tell you how. Let me highlight this. And you're going to say, Mocha said it, Antoine. I'm going to tell you how she knew. Because whatever happened to Kenneka, it wasn't coincidental. It wasn't by accident. We're all enraged because we see what we see and we know what we know. But in my heart of hearts, I believe all of this was pre-planned. This was staged. This was arranged long before this happened to this baby. Because what I want to know is, why would it happen at a hotel? Why would 3 days prior to this happening at a major hotel would broke ass Teresa be there? Hey, Money Stacks, welcome, boo. I want to know, why in the hell would Teresa be situated in that hotel 3 days prior to this happening to her very own daughter? Teresa from the hood. Teresa ain't got shit. Teresa broke. So tell me, what place does Teresa have in that type of establishment? And then 72 hours later, her daughter's declared deceased under suspicious activity. Teresa, cut that shit out. Cut it out. Because you ain't lying to nobody at this point but yourself, Teresa. And that's why Kenneka is wearing your ass out. You can't keep still. That's why you on Facebook every 15 minutes, ma'am. So hopefully, in the spirit, Kenneka gets tired of all y'all bullshit. Even the singer, even her. Kenneka gonna upset your spirit too. Because that was bullshit. That kidney you thought worked for you is gonna eventually fail. I'm telling you. But you out here, you want to be the victim, Teresa. Sit your ass down somewhere. Teresa told her sister, yes, but the sister mysteriously died in between as well. And it's so many people dying on Teresa's watch. Thank you so much, Money Stacks. Welcome, boo. Hey, just Mona. Welcome, sis. Miss Detroit said, because they came from drug dealing and gang stuff. Lorenzo said, that's why I say money is not the ruling of all evil. It's the love of money. Facts, facts, Lorenzo. Teresa knows, y'all. I am convinced Teresa knows. Carla Henry said she sold them young girls. Said they sold weed and ties with big gang members. Wow. She knows just what she's doing. Antoine said, she said no one did nothing to Kenneka. But Kenneka, see, that's that deflection again, Antoine. She don't want to be connected to the bigger picture. But with the autopsy and everything that came out, Antoine, what I want to know is what I want to know, what I want to know. Did Kenneka have scars where that kidney came from? Why is none of this being spoken on? I'm confused. I'm confused. All I know is Teresa got on every panel and lied her ass off. But her truth is going to come to light shortly. Samantha said sometimes people post on their social media because they know something will happen to them. Ms. Detroit said, looking at her on that table in that morgue, she was beat up. It's me say, so you mean to tell me you signed what and you didn't know what? It's me, she's a liar. She's a liar. Kiana said, I was keeping up with this when it first happened. Zach TV was actually solving this. She called and told him to let it go. Yes, yes. Just like she's telling everybody else. But I want to know, Teresa, since you telling everybody to let it go, ma'am, who's telling you to tell people this? And then I want to know, how do you know that these people are going to get hurt? And who's going to do the hurting? See, Teresa, you got a lot of questions to answer. The tongue is a powerful thing. And you just using that bitch loosely, Teresa. Antoine said, wasn't Teresa supposedly jealous of Kenneka about a man or something? Antoine, I heard that. I heard that. That was said in the very beginning. Carla Henry said Teresa's man tried to get after Kenneka. That's why Kenneka always had a knife when she was home on her videos. Carla Henry, yes. I heard that too. And that's sad for Teresa. That's sad. That's sad for Teresa. So Teresa, is it true that you sold your daughter's soul for a man? And y'all capitalized off the 3.7 million. And your ass is broke. Kenneka's gone and the man gone and the money's gone. And now all you got is Facebook renting your ass off. Make it make sense. Hey, the Betsy, welcome. Somebody say latte. Welcome, my love. She said, after watching all of Candy's Star video and Zach being executed, I stepped back looking into this. It didn't sit right with my spirit. Welcome to the club, boo, because it's bothering all of us. It's bothering all of us. Something ain't right with this. Kiana, that part. She walked that whole entire hotel floor without falling, but she was supposed to be drunk. Somebody please tell me something different. You see, that's the stories. These stories ain't adding up. These stories ain't adding up. But they want us to believe what they want us to believe. But they want us to believe she walked in that freezer. They want us to believe that she closed the door on herself. And they want us to believe that that's how she went to meet her maker. Nah, y'all could try again. This is crazy. I believe they took that camera. Look, there was a camera on top of that freezer. If you look at footage, there used to be a camera on top of that freezer. And now it's just a empty spot with screw holes. So why remove the camera if that was really the missing link to all of this? But they think we're crazy. Colette said Teresa's out of money. She's trying to get another payoff. Ain't nobody got no money for Teresa, Colette. Teresa's a has-been at this point. That's crazy. Sunshine, his whole case is off, boo. Teresa did point at that camera in that video. She pointed at the camera in the video, but that camera ain't there no more. The Betsy said, well, she got $6.9 million. After attorney fees, she's left with 3.6. Child. And that's just Mona. Kenneka is whipping her ass right now. Wait a minute. You see, Miss Detroit, the numbers you giving me about who got what. They were awarded $10 million. 33 and a third of that went to the attorney. You telling me she got 3.7? Her daughter, how the hell her daughter get 2.7? And the brother get money too? No. All these people. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because if she got 3.7, the daughter got 2.7. Ms. Detroit, that's 6.4. If the brother got 2 whatever, then what the attorney got? Nothing. Mm-mm. I ain't buying that one. The Betsy said, yep. Miss Martin said that outside her house when her sister passed that passed away. Child. The Betsy said Carolyn Robinson Mangum, a 61-year-old kitchen worker, found dead in a walk-in freezer at the Westin Peachtree Plaza Hotel in Atlanta. Some thought this is where they got the idea from. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. If you go back and watch the video with Nancy Grace, yes, Nancy Grace gives a lot, and a lot of her inconsistencies are there too. Money Stack says the sister said after the Rich comment that they didn't have to know all that. So, girl, the sister knows. Just like Teresa slow ass know. The sister knew they were all in on this. But my thing is, why sacrifice Kenneka? Why sacrifice her? Mm-mm-mm. But baby, we ain't finished with this. Y'all know this shit gonna come in layers. This shit is in layers. And Teresa, we ain't finished with you. But y'all want us to believe that this baby walked into this freezer. Y'all want us to believe that this baby walked into a freezer, drunk, high. No, that's not the case. Y'all, that's not the case. Mm-mm. Money Stack said, y'all must have forgot about that book, the Brianna Jenkins story. That book had all the details of this case down to the T. Girl, I'm wondering, what bothers me? What bothers me is, what is Teresa's angle by coming out here the way she is right now? Because, baby, I'm telling y'all, my girl said, I know I'm not done with her. Me either. Teresa come in layers, boo. She's coming in layers. And I don't understand why would the brother and sister get money if Teresa already got paid. Maybe, see what you just said? Maybe the brother and sister was in on it too. So let's talk about it. Teresa goes to the hotel 3 days before this takes place. If it was a regular lawsuit, right? Because they never revealed who she sued and who paid the money. So listen to this and listen well. If it was a regular lawsuit, money that was paid off by the hotel, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, grandma, grandpa, nah, they would have not been recipients. Teresa would have been. And maybe a biological father would have been wrongful death. But there was no label on that lawsuit. There was no wrongful death label on that lawsuit. So where that money come from? Who agreed to give 10 million flat dollars? I'll wait, Teresa. And Teresa, if you want to be fair with the people and you want to be fair with yourself, and if you want to honor your daughter all these years later, it's time to be truthful. That was a payoff. And if your daughter's kidney was worth 10 million, Teresa? Why you ain't give them yours? You were much older. She did all of that. And who knows why she was drinking. Maybe she wanted to numb the pain of what you put her through, Teresa. Because it showed that you didn't love her. So in order for this to stay hush-hush, Teresa, you got to kick back off the kidney. And because your daughter and your son knew what was going on, because you told them, because you looked like you run your mouth, they knew what was going on. And being from the hood, they threatened your ass. And they said if she's paying that kind of money, we want a little bit too. And then they threatened the lady that was getting the kidney. Bitch, if you don't pay us, we telling. So that could be how everybody got a piece of the pie. That's just my theory. That's just my theory. That's just my theory. But Teresa, you bragged. You bragged, boo. What are you getting out of this, Teresa? It ain't gonna bring her back. The Betsy, I'm with you. The Betsy says a possible scenario is that this was planned without foreseeing that baby's passing, which could explain the comment about impending wealth. Very much so. Very much so. And the thing is, that baby had a job. Thank you for pointing that out to Betsy. Kenneka had a job. She worked at McDonald's, so she was familiar with going in and out of those freezers. But Teresa, you've proven that. You've proven that this baby was, you had no heart for that baby. Something you birthed. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. But guys, we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to bring some more tea tomorrow. And we're going to discuss some more and some more and some more of Teresa, because Teresa's a never-ending saga. She's a never-ending saga. Teresa, you see over here at MOCA and the NOLA Bells, we're family, baby. And everybody has a right to an opinion. We speak truth and we hope to find justice. So Teresa, you get no passes over here. For those of you that pulled up on MOCA, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for stopping by. Make sure you hit the like button. And to y'all that's new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Set those notification bells. Because we're going back in tomorrow, same time, 7 o'clock my time, we'll be on Teresa. But just set your notifications, just in case. I appreciate each and every one of you. that stopped by. I thank you all for pouring into me and pouring into the channel. Appreciate the love that you've shown tonight. Until next time, I love each and every one of y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No bells, the work ain't done. No. Motivated from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. Team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Mocha in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the NOLA where the soul don't break. Mocha built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love. It's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh no, no bellows, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is the NOLA bells. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Stand tall and join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless you.